Union Minister Shivraj Chouhan lambasting Air India over the condition of the seats inside the flight. Union Agriculture Minister Shivraj Chouhan slammed Air India for allotting him a broken seat on a flight from Bhopal to Delhi. And for more on this, I'm also being joined by my senior managing editor Nikunj Garg on the phone line. Nikunj, the Union Minister has highlighted that he was allotted a broken seat while travelling on a Bhopal to Delhi flight, which is approximately about 1.5 hours.
Well, yes, Aditi, it's uncharacteristic of somebody, a mild-mannered man like Mr. Shivraj Singh Chouhan, to come out in public and express his anguish over something, what has happened to him, in particular today with Air India. He's a very mild-mannered, gentle, sober kind of a politician, not the usual aggressive politician that we are used to in some parts of the country. And for somebody like him to come out and say that, this is the kind of treatment that has been meted out to him, and name the management of the company by name, and then say that it looks like that nothing has changed despite the change of management, it's quite something. So, and this is something that has now almost unfortunately become a norm with Air India, because it is not for the first time that somebody senior, somebody important, or somebody somebody who frequently flies, forget about the seniority or the importance, but people who frequently fly. Last I remember, Mr. Chidambaram, former Home and Finance Minister, also castigated Air India because passengers were made to wait in the Aerobridge area without air conditioning for a fairly long time. And Mr. Chidambaram also expressed his anguish, his angst in public domain. So, the fact remains that this is something that is happening with the frequency that is clearly unacceptable to the frequent flyers, clearly unacceptable to the world of civil aviation at large, and clearly unacceptable to the people who expect that the new management of Tata's bring in a new service culture and bring in new quality of service to the airline. So quite clearly, a lot of people now objecting publicly to this kind of shoddy behavior being meted out to them.
Absolutely, Nikunj, and the cause of concern is also rising because Shivraj Singh Chouhan says that the Air India management was informed about this broken seat and had asked the airlines to not allot it. Despite that, it was allotted.
Well, absolutely. The fact remains that it's just not one part of the response of the airline of dealing with the passengers. It's the overall response system or the response process of the entire chain that quite clearly seems to have broken in multiple cases, not just one case. See, look, today we can enrage about it, or today some people will be more enraged because, as I said, a ranking cabinet minister has put out a public tweet. But ask the people who frequently fly, take airlines, etc., etc., while the prices of the tickets soar sky high in the country, the services, much to the dismay of the flying class and flying population, which is increasing by the day in the country, remain absolutely deficient. And after any flight, you can ask the passengers about their opinion, and it seems to be fairly widespread. And when the brands like Tata come into play, when the services of a company like Air India are taken over by a brand like Tata, the hope and the expectation is that there would be a considerable improvement over a significant period of time. But it appears that despite a significant lapse of time or significant passing of time under the charge of the new management, that change is not happening, and that leads to further consternation and public outbursts of emotion by even, as I said, a gentle politician or a gentle minister like Mr. Shivraj Singh Chouhan.
Right, Nikunj, thank you so much for joining us. We also have Ishika joining us on the broadcast. Ishika, what are we hearing from the Air India? We have exclusively with us that Air India CEO has been asked to take necessary steps. What more can you get us?
Well, in fact, as you rightly mentioned, we have it exclusive with NDTV now. In fact, that the Ministry of Civil Aviation has cautioned the Air India and in fact has asked the Air India CEO to take the necessary steps. Because, if you look at the tweet that the Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chouhan has done today, it is rather a very strong reaction coming from the minister, because he has in fact in his tweet said that making passengers sit on on, in fact, a broken, seat is unethical, and that too after paying the full amount. He has questioned whether or not is it cheating with the passenger. He has also, in fact, gone on to say that, till when will, the management actually take necessary steps, or will they continue, taking advantage of, the passengers' compulsion to reach their destination at time. So certainly it is a rather strong reaction coming from, from the Minister Shivraj Singh Chouhan. He has also mentioned in his rather long tweet that, while in fact he had asked the airline staff as to why was this broken seat given to him, he was informed that the management has already been informed, but no action has been taken.
Ishika, and stay with me. We are also getting calls on this issue. Remember, this is an issue that highlights and appeals to a larger audience over here. Punya Singh is joining me from Jaipur. Yes, sir, please go ahead. Share your experience.
Tata, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. Yes.
Yeah. So Tata, which is a very reputable company in terms of all industries like information technology, automobile, consumer products, but by this Air India, its reputation is being down. So few months ago, Adnan Sami, a famous singer, complained that he has to sit separate from his daughter during his flight. And after the merger of Air India with Tata, after it became privatized, it is becoming more disgusting. And it's such a disgusting thing that a union minister is allotted a broken seat. It's really disgusting thing. So I feel that Tata, which is a very reputable company, should take concern of these issues.
Right. Mr. Punya Singh, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your ordeal as well. We also have our guest, Dr. Sumit Susilan, who is an aviation expert and author. Sir, meanwhile, while we are tracking the calls that we are getting, a number of people are calling us and sharing their experience. How do you see this hard-hitting post by Union Minister saying that the Air India allotted him a broken seat?
Yeah, it's very unfortunate to know that a senior leader like Shivraj Chouhan ji, who had mentioned about the broken seat, such a down-to-earth politician who always go for a person who always be in the public, had allocated 8 Charlie seat, 8C. Normally the ministers always
I'm really sorry to interrupt you in between. We are also getting another call. Mr. Chiradeep is trying to call us from Hyderabad. Yes, Mr. Chiradeep, share your experience about flying on Air India flight or any other flight. Have you faced similar inconvenience?
Having flown between Hyderabad and Bangalore, which is a very high-end flight route, all right, I have not faced any challenges with Air India per se. But then, what is really astonishing is that when it comes to other private airlines like Indigo, for instance, I have had the similar experiences of broken seats. The cabin crew does not respond, and they don't even have the courtesy to lodge a complaint because they don't even have a pen and paper. They refuse to give us water if you complain. So these are certain issues that the Civil Aviation Ministry should be looking into. Yes, we do understand that a high-profile passenger like Mr. Shivraj Chouhan has brought this to the domain, but there are hundreds and millions of passengers like me that we do definitely have problems with the basic like a seat or maybe even the lights in an aircraft or even maybe the toilet doors. All right. So this is something that there has to be a grievance cell that we can put these things together when the airline company does not want to accept our complaints, ma'am.
Right. Thank you so much, Shiradeep, for sharing your experience. As we were talking about it, Dr. Sumit Susilan, we have seen and people are also complaining about the attitude of the airlines, how they do not often care about the suggestions or the feedback that has been given by the passengers.
Passenger, definitely the Air India is in the turnaround stage right now because after the government that now Tata is taking over the company, they are awaiting multiple aircraft delivery. Whereas the current aircraft which I saw, which the Chauhanji was flying, it was an older aircraft. That's the reason seats was broken. And as a company policy, they should not allocate such seat to anyone, not only any leaders. It should not give it to any passengers. Earlier also there are some cases came up where the Air India had allocated business and first class seats to international passengers and they had complained. The Air India definitely is a brand name and it's like they carry the name India. So definitely the concern is too high because people have a high expectation. And I think till the time that Air India doesn't get complete aircrafts, they should at least should not allocate such seat to any of the passengers, because I know as a step they always refund 100% ticket price to the passengers. That's what the steps they are taking in a regular basis. But I think now it's a high time. Definitely, the government will get into this and will take a step against such things which they are doing.
Right. And Mr. Suseelan, we are seeing how the airlines is reacting to the whole issue, the whole fiasco that a union minister has highlighted on social media platform X. We saw that the airlines apologized, but till now we are not seeing any a strong reaction coming in from Air India. Nothing of that sort has been received to us. We have also written to Air India about their reaction to us, but no concrete step can be put out so far as to what has been done, what should be done, and what will be done by the airline.
It will take another 24 hours, I think, at least from the airline to respond to this entire matter, because they already had received such complaint and they might be coordinating with their base of Bhopal, because this flight was taken from Bhopal. So definitely they have to coordinate with the airport managers and have to confirm why this seat is given to a passenger. So you can expect definitely a revert from the airlines within 24 hours, because airline normally practice the same thing.
Right, Mr. Suseelan, thank you so much. Just hold your thoughts. We also are getting another caller. Ms. Apurva is calling us from Mumbai. Ms. Apurva, yes, please go ahead. Share your experience with us.
Sure. I would like to share my experience. Actually, I'm a Deshpremi and I thought Air India would be the airline which I should travel with. I had booked a Dubai return ticket, Mumbai. And while I was returning back from Dubai, we were on the runway for 5 hours. There was some technical problem. It got elongated from 1 hour to 2 hours to 5 hours. All the AC was off. The passengers were shouting. There was no update on the issue. After 5 hours, because of a lot of shouting, the passengers were disembarked. And then at the airport, the ground staff was not aware what to deal with the passengers. Nobody was there to answer the things. A few of our passengers then spoke with the airline officials. We calmed down the passengers and then there was some resolution. So what I would suggest is that the airline, of course, is branding very, very well that it's an international airline, but the service on the ground is absolutely poor. I would request to improve the image of India, that Air India management, top management needs to intervene very, very seriously. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Apurva, for sharing your experience. As we were talking about it, Mr. Sumit, that the brand image is taking a hit after such complaints being raised by none other than the union minister.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna take a long time for Tata also to turn this entire, thing which is there, because we still have the old team in the company and old engineering teams who are taking a very long time to, change the seats and all. So definitely we what we are expecting that it will take another 1 year time. By 2025 end we can expect a real change in the company. Whereas in international routes where the new aircraft like A350 is already had indulged now, so that operations are going quite smooth. Whereas in domestic we can see these older aircrafts. So we are just waiting for the change in the domestic route as well.
We are also getting more calls on this broadcast. Vivek Kamlani from Belgaum is connecting with us. Mr. Vivek, please go ahead. Share your experience.
Yeah, so I was traveling by Star Air. Star Air connects Belgaum with quite a few airports around the country. And just a day previous to that, they send us a mail that the flight has been cancelled. There is no number on the mail. There is nothing. Whom do I contact? What do I do further? Because that's the only connectivity that I have from Belgaum to Ahmedabad. Now, if they cancel the flight, okay, they have a problem, well and good, they are well within their rights to cancel it. But at least let them give us some number where we can call them, where they can make some alternate arrangements for us. Just at the last moment, they say it is cancelled and all our program there, everything just goes, that becomes our headache. Isn't that unfair?
Absolutely. I agree with your sentiments, Mr. Kamlani. Thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Susilan, this is the same sentiment that is being echoed by every other caller that we have on our show. It is the lack of, first of all, the connectivity, second, availability of flights, and third, there is no per se a staff or a medium or mode to give a certain feedback to the airline. Do you think not just Air India but all the other airlines should now take a lesson and mediate between the passengers and the airline staff more smoothly?
Yeah, it's a common practice which we can see nowadays. When the flight get delayed, immediately the staff get vanished from the boarding gate area and from the check-in counter. You will not find any staff there, which is definitely a wrong practice, because the passenger who had paid their hard-earned money to book these tickets, they expect at least a service to connect from point A to point B. And if the flight is getting if it's getting cancelled or delayed, they have all the rights to get the information well in advance so that they can plan their entire trip accordingly. Whereas airline is getting failed to do update or all these things. So definitely the government should take action on this thing, and there should be a complete policy on this. Whereas already the government have some policy, but definitely we can see that people are not following such, airlines are not following such policies. So I think the government will now, after all this issue, will take up this thing very seriously.
Dr. Sumit, Union Minister highlighted that it was the airline staff which had asked the airline to not allocate that particular seat, as they already knew that this is a case, the seat is broken in the airline and should not be transferred or allocated to anybody. I'll come back to you, but more viewers are calling in at this moment. Viewers, Kirit Patel from Bengaluru is calling us at this hour. Please go ahead, Kirit Patel, and share your experience. How do you think the airlines in India are working, especially the Air India?
Yes, thank you for giving me the opportunity. I had flown with Air India Express from Ayodhya to Mangalore in December.
Right.
Yeah, and suddenly because of winter schedule change, they cancelled my, via Bangalore flight was there. So Bangalore to Mangalore was cancelled.
Okay.
And I was asked to, either you change to some other date or you can take the refund. So, it was last minute, so I couldn't do anything. So I flew up to Bangalore in the same this thing. But from Bangalore to Mangalore, I had to ask for the refund. And the refund was just paltry, 1,525 rupees was the refund which they gave me. That also after about 4 months of delay.
Okay, so you're saying that how airlines are harassing customers who are asking for the rightful refund of their flights, the inconvenience that they faced. We also have more callers joining us at this. Our viewers, Anil Sabrawal is calling us from Delhi. Yes, Mr. Sabrawal, please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. I've been a frequent flyer, and Air India at one time was the most sought after airline. And we thought after Tata takeover, the things will improve. But there's one experience of very bad experience I would like to narrate. I was booked Delhi-Goa, 3 passengers, on the 19th of November on Air India Express. Now, it was to depart at around, I think, 4 o'clock or something. And I get a message around 12 o'clock, the flight has been cancelled. Please contact our call center. I kept trying and trying and trying. Then fearing that I may not lose money, I, along with my wife and my other passenger, we drove to airport. We reach airport, they don't allow, first of all, to enter inside. Then I went to the counter. There is no Air India officer seen. Only ground handling, and they were not willing to listen. There were passengers, connecting passengers from New York to Delhi to Goa who were attending wedding, and the hotels were booked. Nobody came forward. Whole night I spent there. Finally, I told them that which flight are you giving? They said there's a flight which will go Delhi, Bombay, Goa, and will reach in the evening. I said, whole night I'm sitting here, and now you're giving me this option. Anyway, then finally they said the direct flight we can give to you on the 22nd. Now, in the olden days, they used to immediately give you the alternate flight. It's the choice of the passenger, he takes it or no. So Air India's condition has become pathetic. Okay. Air India officers are not seen. They are totally depending on the ground handling agent. And grounding agents, they don't care. Officers
Right.
are
Mr. Sabharwal, thank you so much for joining us. We also are getting calls from Shailendra Kumar from Chandigarh. Yes, sir, please go ahead.
This is regarding Air India experience. We have a direct booking from Ranchi to Chandigarh. What they do, they say that they are Air India Express and Air India different flights, and they do not provide us check-on facility online before 48 hours. They ask that this will be only at the airport. And while going to the airport, they say that the seat has been full. You have to again check in at Delhi airport, and the time between that is only 15 minutes, 1 hour only. So that is very difficult when they will not provide a check-in facility, and they will not issue the boarding pass when they are issuing the ticket. This is the first experience. The second experience, while I was traveling through Air India, I have checked in the flight, but they have unilaterally changed the seat without informing us. And when I have asked that why you have changed the seat, they say they have someone has paid extra money. How they can pay the extra money? So they have no explanation. And even their pilot and core team does not cooperate us. They only say that this cannot be done. So such type of poor customer services.
Right.
I'm very
Right.
sorry.
Thank you so much, Shailendra Kumar, for sharing your experience. We also have Praveen Deshpande calling us from Nagpur. Please, sir, go ahead, share your experience.
Yeah, man, last year I traveled by Air India non-stop flight from Mumbai to EWR. I had booked a seat in economy class with the extra leg length and paying extra money for that with the window seat. When I boarded the flight, my entertainment system was not working, and I had some issue with the seat. So what happened was, when I asked her, she said the entertainment system is not working, and the cabin crew, she came to me and she said, I can give you another seat, but that is the center seat, and that is also without an extra leg length, because this system cannot be repaired now. So I said, what is the point paying extra money, and I had to change the seat. That too, they are offering me a center seat because the flight was full. So I had to suffer, 16 hours non-stop flight. I had to suffer with no entertainment system. And it's a regular affair in the flight.
Right. Mr. Deshpande, thank you so much for sharing your experience. The common thing that everybody is highlighting, the callers are highlighting, is there is a lack of coordination between the airlines and the passengers. A smooth coordination between the two is a must. While the condition of seats need to improve on the airlines, the connectivity has to be increased by the airlines, and the Air India should not take it up really seriously, that even after the airline staff warning the maintenance department that the seat is broken and should not be allocated to anyone, not just the union minister, but viewers, even to me and you. We are also traveling every day in flights, and this is the experience that most of us experience and share it. Many callers have highlighted how there is a lack of coordination, and a foolproof system needs to be maintained between the flyers and the airlines. Many passengers are complaining that the feedback system that is there currently, remember, whenever you raise a complaint on social media platform X, a generative bot response, you get it, which says, please contact, share your details, we apologize for the inconvenience. But after that, you are made to go through a number of emails, you share it, you write it, and then you wait for the response and the remedy towards it. But this is what now Union Minister had to suffer, and in a hard-hitting post has lambasted the Air India Airlines, saying why was he given a seat which was broken. It was a 1.5-hour journey from Bhopal to Delhi, which Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chouhan had to troubly go through. With that, we're slipping into a very short break, viewers, but this remains our top focus here at NDTV.